All right, spectacles, testicles, 1, 2, 3. Spectacles, testicles. You say you want a revolution, well, you know. Hey there, everybody, PTPOP here. Welcome back to my program where I lead you out of the rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. Today, I ask the question, are we about to have a revolution? Let's take a look. These are trying times, my friends. Trying times for each and every one of us, except for those wealthy one percenters. It seems like many of the one percenters at the top of the food chain are going bye-bye. They've been 86'd. Many of them been 86'd, and there's rumors spreading that something nefarious may be happening. Could it be true? Could revolution be in the air? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to play some TikTok videos of people here that talk about revolution. And we'll see what they have to say. And first up, I've got TikToker SPX 69,000 vids. And let's see what this fine young man has to say. Here, let me fade this down. The song you're hearing behind me is Call Center Blues, just a rhythm track. That is my original music, so don't take it, you dirty bastards. You dirty bug-wumping mug bumpers. Better be careful. Talking gibberish could get me banned from a YouTube. Right, here we go.
The revolution will not be televised. That was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So
yeah, I think there's a revolution going on that isn't a violent one. I think it's an intellectual revolution where people are waking up to the lies they've been told since they were born. And this is people of all walks of life, from all stages, from all generations. Boomers, post-baby boomers, Gen X, Gen whatever Gen it is. Everyone's waking up to the lies.
When we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film. It'll just be something that you see, and all of a sudden you realize, I'm on the wrong page.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what they weren't expecting to happen when the internet was introduced to the world 25, 30 years ago. People now are talking to one another around the world. I talk to people on a daily basis from Great Britain that 30 years ago I never even would have known they existed. Wouldn't have never known where. I'm talking to artists and conspiracy theorists and people of similar mindsets all around the globe and this country. And we all have one thing in common. We see that the things aren't quite what we thought they were.
Oh, I'm on the right page, but I'm on the wrong note. And I've got to get in sync with everyone else.
Yeah, that's so true. And we're starting to get in sync with each other. Now, as I'd mentioned in the intro, there's a variety of C-suite type people that are going bye-bye. And the most recent one was Wesley Leatner, who was 86'd by a pew-pew guy in a building that just happened to house the NFL headquarters, or at least part of it. I've never understood whether it's actually the NFL headquarters or just a couple offices of it. But the story goes, as you all know, that the gentleman who pew-pewed all those people was just out for revenge against the NFL because of his alleged CTE. Which I'm sure, if they haven't done already, they've exhumed his brain and take his brain out of a skull and cut it into little slices and analyze and see if it's got brain damage. And then they'll say, oh, yeah, he was definitely mentally deranged. But here, this person is a pretty interesting view on it. This is TikToker YFG B144, I believe.
You're fucking choking on it. This woman was literally part of the reason why so many people struggle to buy houses. Please wrap your head around that. She's part of one of these big ass fucking conglomerate companies that buys up all of these houses and permanently rents them out.
Have any of you seen how high rent is? Doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what city in the nation. The rent is at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and the average person barely brings in $2,000 a month. the average person may, if they're lucky, they're bringing in $4,000 a month, which is barely enough to pay the rent, utilities, the car insurance, the food. I mean, food would take up probably, if I was making $3,000 a month, I bet you food would take up half of our income each month.
So that nobody can fucking buy a house. This shit is ridiculous. So I don't feel bad. And if you can't buy a house, neither should you.
So what this Wesley Leatner was part of, she was part of a company called Blackstone, and they had a subsidiary within the company that went out and bought up all these rental properties and doubled and tripled the rent in most cases. So people, when their leases came up and were due and they were reviewed, some of these people were kicked out because they had lost their jobs or because they couldn't afford the rent anymore. And people were on the street. People lost their homes, people lost their lives, but nobody wants to talk about that. And they think that her pew-pewing was part of a so-called quote-unquote revolution. I don't know. And because there's been a lot of CEOs that have gone bye-bye recently. So this woman is discovering joy too. Beautiful lady. Isn't this a beautiful lady?
I really do hate the system that has been created in this world for humans. I mean, we had the opportunity to literally live in paradise. We had the opportunity to eat from the trees and grow our own food and have clean water and make love in different places in the world and raise children and explore and trade. And we decided to do this dumb shit. Make a system where everything's overpriced. People can't afford to live. Like, you can't even afford to die.
Oh, it's so true, man. As I said last night in one of my live feeds, what if this earth that we live on was the Garden of Eden? And we destroyed it. We have just methodically gone through every possible part of nature and just ripped it and raped it and destroyed it and stomped on it and shredded it and torn it into pieces. There's very few parts of this earth above the waterline that have not been raped by mankind. And you can't even afford to die. Do you know how expensive it is just to get a burial plot in a graveyard? There's a place down the street from us, $10,000 just to buy a plot. That doesn't include, the liner they put you into. That doesn't include the casket. That doesn't include the urn. It doesn't include the stone. It costs anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 to get buried in a cemetery these days.
Like, this is what we chose to do with the brilliant minds that we have. Like, whose idea was this?
Oh, isn't she beautiful? Oh, lady, I don't know you from a bag of potatoes, but you radiate beauty. Look at her skin. She's probably got a filter on, but I'm sure she doesn't need it. Just a gorgeous woman.
Like, my whole body rejects it. Like, I love life, but like, the system in place, I am excited for its downfall. I am excited for it to crumble because, like, everything in my body just denies it and rejects it.
Isn't it the truth? There's so much crap going on around us right now. It's so unattractive. It's so ugly. It's just repulsive. What's happening in our world is repulsive. And there's so many people out there that are being a part of it. They've decided that this is what they want for some reason. And I've tried it. I've gone down all the different rabbit holes. I've gone down trying to be famous. I've tried to become the corporate person. I've tried to do all these things. And all it ever got me was frustration and loneliness and disenchantment. I can't wait for it to fall apart. Maybe for once people will have some type of power in saying things if there is some type of change.
Like, I remember the days when we thought things were affordable, but even then it's like, how do you not have access to water in this?
So this one is the truth most will never understand. This is from TikToker Fully Staked. And what I want to say here is I'm not certain if this is an actual audio excerpt from The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, or not, or if it's AI, because I only saw The Matrix once, and it's when it came out in the theaters like 25 years ago or 30 years ago. But this says a lot.
Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
Amen. And again, I don't know if that's an actual audio from The Matrix, but it speaks volumes. There's people out there right now that are ensconced in, quote, the Matrix or, quote, the system, and they have no idea that they're trapped. They're addicted to it. They're addicted to the trauma. They're addicted to the news. They're addicted to their phones. They're addicted to the internet. They're addicted to porn and drugs and booze. They've just become dependent upon the system. And these are the people you try to wake them up. You're like, hey, wake up. It's all a lie. And they're like, no, man. I got a great life. I got my bottle of whiskey and I got my bong and I got a halfway decent wife or husband and I'm doing okay. You know, I got my little bungalow in the burbs, man. That's all I need. What are you saying? It's all a lie, you know? And there's very few people who will openly admit that they're living a horrible, miserable life. On the outside, to all of us on social media, when you look at their pictures of their wedding and then of their subsequent life and their children and their honeymoons and their vacations and their family get-togethers around the big table at Thanksgiving, you see that one frozen moment in time and everybody thinks they're living the life. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of other nasty, nefarious things going on behind the scenes that they don't want to talk about because they want you to think they got it made, that they're living the dream. And they can't get away from it. Now, one thing that George Carlin had stated was that the one thing that they want to do is to give us the illusion of choice. And this is from TikToker, the Potch of Shadows. The Potch of Shadows. The illusion of choice, how politicians serve the ruling class.
Politicians are the most important piece of a lie, the sleight of hand, the illusion of choice. They were never meant to serve you, nor your community, and definitely not your future. They were meant to stand between you and the ruling class. You see,
doesn't it make sense? Most of these men, always men, stand between us. A lot of other things as well, but it doesn't seem like there's no way to get to the people at the top, the Bilderbergs or the Rockefellers or the Carnegies or whoever they happen to have been in history.
As long as candidates are dangled in front of you, you love one, you hate the other. It doesn't matter to them because the focus is kept off what's important. Meanwhile, the real rulers, the real problems with this country, pull the strings. They pillage and plunder every resource, break every law, exploit every worker. It doesn't matter what avatar they use to do their bidding.
Yeah, the presidential candidates, and I've seen this since I was a kid, little kid. When I was born, President Johnson was in office, and then it was Nixon, and then it was Ford, then Carter, and then Reagan. You know, it goes on and on and on. And all these guys get up there at the podium and they say, I promise to help you achieve the American dream. I'll cut taxes and I'll give more taxes to the rich, and I'll put every guy will have a whore in the bedroom, and every woman will have and none of it ever comes true. And they give you this illusion that you've got choice by voting for one of these ding-dongs. And they're all ding-dongs.
And people were waking up. They have begun to see the world for what it is. The ruthless puppeteers for who they are. And that's why they've turned the heat up as high as ever.
Yep. If you've noticed, since we all started to wake up and people have started to reject the system, all kinds of things are going on. There's volcanoes and earthquakes and weather's changing all of a sudden. It's really hot here in Ohio this summer. It'll probably be a blistering cold winter. I don't know if they can control the weather. They say they can. I don't know about that. They got all these shootings. Planes are crashing left and right. Pilots are 86ing themselves by turning off the fuel pumps. What's going on out there? There's all kinds of school shootings, all kinds of public shootings. Doesn't anybody find that kind of interesting?
Over the last 10 years, everything has become political and divisive. Sports, music, movies, talk shows. You can't
even watch a talk show at night, whatever they are. Whether it's, Kimmel or Fallon or any of the goofballs that are on there now, it's a stand. It's just a political stand-up routine where they just talk politics and cut down on people and cut down the left, cuts down the right cuts down the left, but they're all left-leaning. It's designed to make you angry. It's designed to pull in a certain crowd, to program them with hate and make the right resent them. Right doesn't, I don't know anybody. I haven't watched a talk show since Trump ran the first time. I have not watched a talk show since probably 2014.
Go into a comment section about puppies without an argument. Clear decisions between right and wrong have become split for the sake of politics. Meanwhile, bills are passed to destroy the working class, the environment is wrecked, the rich get richer. This is the plan. They want to close back the veil to keep you focused on anything else. Each president, each senator, each news talking head is a sacrificial lamb to the altar of the ruling class.
Have you noticed since Trump has been messing around with his list, the nasty wasty list, that the people like Pelosi and Clinton, both Clintons, and all those people that were barking like hounds during his election have gone silent, that they've completely disappeared? Pelosi, all of them, you don't even hear from them anymore. Wonder why that is.
Paid to take the beating so they don't have to. The more you rant about the buzzword of the day, the war, the conflict, race, gender, generations, parties, the less you look up, the longer they get away with the Epstein List, destroying your retirement, taxing you higher and higher and higher while they laugh their way to the bank. The longer you look away, the further they can push their agenda of money and power while you become a wage slave. If you think a single politician cares about you, even a single one, you have fallen for it. The show, the lie, the cover-up. You argue over who has the best slave master.
That's all they are, slave masters. This guy is TikToker Carter Does Stuff 23. Another healthcare CEO has been 86'd.
So another CEO is down. This time it's the CEO of West Valley's Medical Center, Nicholas Manning. He was found dead in his hotel room and the family suspects another one bites the dust.
So this guy that he's speaking of was a CEO of a healthcare company, and they found him dead in a hotel room. Allegedly, he 86'd himself by himself. But there's no correlation between all of these deaths of CEOs, C-suite people, all at once within a 3-week time span. Everybody thinks that's a coincidence. Seriously? Maybe there is some type of revolution going on that we're not aware of. Maybe there is a group of people that have an agenda, and they know the whereabouts of all these people and where they are at all times, and they've decided to take business into their own hands. I'm not condoning it. I'm saying maybe that's what's happening. This woman is TikToker Lady Pants 91. This is titled Game Over.
I'm done playing the game. I no longer want to be a part of this society. It does not serve me.
Now, I don't think she's talking about 86ing herself, but I've come to the same conclusion. This society is not about you and me. Our society is about them. But how can they exploit each and every one of us to make the most money out of us? And this lady's had it. She's had enough.
Want to jump off the cliff? You go right ahead. I'm not jumping with you.
I agree.
It shakes me to my core. The things that we have watched unfold before our eyes. The things that have come to pass that I personally have been talking about for 2 decades. But I'm the crazy one. I'm the conspiracy theorist. I've always been the black sheep, and that's fine.
And that's the same thing with me. See, I've always been kind of awake. Even back in high school and college, I was always considered uptight. Why are you so uptight, dude? Have a drink, do a bong, man. Go out and party with us, man. You need to get laid, dude. And I kind of saw through a lot of it when I was younger, but I bought into some of it too. I bought into never did drugs, but I started drinking to loosen up. I thought maybe they were right. Maybe I need to loosen up, not be so uptight. And I jumped off the cliff with everybody, but I didn't land at the bottom. I grabbed a branch on the side of the cliff and I kind of pulled myself back up when I was in my 40s. But it's really hard to do, especially if you're addicted to all of it.
On my sleeve. And I have such a capacity to love people different than me. I also have the capacity to forgive.
Now, this woman is talking about some different stuff there, but this is Dr. X. Large, the psychological trauma.
Really, the West is a cult. I mean, I've said it before. The West, America, is a cult. Now, I'm not being hyperbolic. This is why Americans specifically are immediately identifiable, no matter where they are. You know, why they really come across as strange and brainwashed to everyone else in the world if they travel, you know? If you interact with an American, you genuinely feel like you're talking to someone who just has a really insular frame of reference, you know? A fabricated sense of reality, a sense of reality that only makes sense within the American cult compound. It's always a non-interaction interaction, you know what I mean?
And he's right, because when you live in this country, the first thing they tell you is you live in the dream. This dream, we've all got to achieve the American dream. But the American dream is all about pursuing this dangling carrot, which is a career or a relationship or romance or sex or fame. And they get everybody on this hamster wheel that most people, very, very few, ever achieve the money that they think they're going to get or the fame they want or the kind of spouse they want. They've got men chasing Barbie dolls, women chasing Ken dolls. They've got men think they're going to find this ravenous sexual beast of a woman who's brilliant and loving and caring. And, guys think they're going to become the CEO of IBM. Girls think they're going to become the next WNBA star. They got people chasing after all this stuff, living in a fantasy world. We've got our blinders on in this country. It's all about me, 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 fame, fortune, money, me. And Americans are just like that. We're very self-absorbed. And we've become very selfish.
Like no actual communication takes place in those interactions. It's like they have a stencil, you know? Like they're looking through a stencil, they're looking through a filter. And everything that comes from them adheres to that stencil, and nothing that does not adhere to that stencil can reach them.
And so it makes us deaf, dumb, and blind to anything outside of that frame of reference that how we've been raised to pursue certain things in the name of the American dream. And it's really crazy. It's really gotten insane. So what if this woman's idea was the answer? Revolution, but not a violent one. This is TikToker Karis Marie 4444.
You seen what the sanitation workers in Philly did, didn't you? Trash piled up all over the streets because they didn't get the raise they thought they deserved. Now imagine if all of us decided to do that. At the same time, no daycare workers, no school teachers, no plumbers, no bus drivers, no retail employees, no waiters, bartenders, hotel staff, no coders, no truck drivers, no baggage handlers, no custodians, no grocery store staff. No one. Imagine if we all decided no more yelling into the void. Imagine if we just said no, and we all just sat down and stopped. You seen what the
I said this, I've thought this to myself 1,000 times. What if each of us, what if just half the people in the country, 150 million people, just said, hey, we're not paying our taxes this year? What if half of us decided to not pay any utilities or taxes or go to work for a week, right around April 15th? It would be a silent revolution, but it would bring the entire country to a standstill.
You seen what the senator as a team. Imagine if somebody were to organize something like that. I don't know, like the People's Sick Day. Imagine if everybody came to the Discord and started adding everyone they knew together. Imagine how fast things would change for us. Imagine how long it would take us if millions of us said no.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's what they know could happen. And that's why they've come up with weird viruses that are killing off people, to keep us scared, to keep us fighting each other, because they know that we can have a revolution in this country without firing a shot. It would bring everything to a standstill until somebody listened to us finally. Every renter, every house owner, every tax-paying citizen, every employee, every sick person would have a voice finally. You never know. What do you guys think? And it could happen. Do you think there's revolution in the air? And it is in the form of just the People's Day. A lot of CEOs are going bye-bye, but they're trying to downplay it, though. They're downplaying all that. So I think there's a combination of things here. People are tuning out, and people are taking charge of things, and I think they're taking things into their own hands. And they're saying, "Hey, look, guys, we don't like this anymore." This has been the history of mankind. As long as there's been men, there's always been other men that want to keep you down and keep you pressed to the floor with their boot on your throat. And that's it. What do you think? Leave me a message if you think there's some type of quiet revolution going on. And I think there is something big going on, and we're all tired of it. Every single person is tired of it. It's not it's not fiction, it's fact. Very real. The oppression is real. And it's time, I think it's time we made a change of some sort. Let me know what you think. I'm PTPOP, leading you out of the rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. And I hope you all have a good rest of the week.
Now walk 1,000 miles in your shoes. My heart is torn and tattered, my ego bruised. Then I think I understand you.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yes, I understand you now.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?